This is a quick video to look at how we can use a program called Microsoft Sway to present information in an interesting way. What you will need to do is you'll need to be able to go to your Office login, which is for 365. If you go to office.com and log yourself in, I'm already logged into this, which is why it pops up like this. It shows me what I've used before. On the left hand side of this screen I've got lots of different icons, so I can use Word, Excel, PowerPoint. I have access to my OneDrive, OneNotes, things like that. If I scroll down a little bit, I've got two S's here. One S is SharePoint and one S is Sway. It's Sway that I want to use, and if I click on it, it opens up like this. And Sway is an interesting thing, and I can use it to create a Sway like this. So I'll show you one that I've done before, and then I'll show you how to add some bits to it. So this is a Sway that I've done before, and you can see I've added in lots of different sections here, and some images and some explanations and some bits and pieces like this. Now if I come back up to the top of my Sway here and I click on play, it'll open up like this, and it shows you the interesting way in which this Sway can be presented. And so if I then scroll down, what it does is it pops it all into kind of order, and it pops up my little pictures, and it gives me a background, and I have my explanation around my writing and around my text. When I get to this little photo stack, I can click through these pictures and it arranges them all really nicely. You can see I've used Sway here to answer my explanation question here, so all about the Sikh community in Kent. I've included my own writing bits. I've also found a way of embedding tweets, which you can do. So I've got a couple from Ravinder Singh, who's the person who is the president of the Sikh charity Khalsa Aid. Okay, and so I've included some of his tweets just to show some of those, and also talked about how the Kent police force became involved as well. And then I've got a tweet here from Khalsa Aid, and it's quite nice because it will embed the video and it will play that along as well, which is quite nice, so you can see that working through. And as I come down here, I've got more information around it, and I'm leading into my next section, which is going to be around the Sikh teachings. And then I would go, so why did they do it? So this is only halfway through my Sway, so I've got extra bits that I would add in here. Now, if I'm going to start from the very scratch here, what I would do is I would start a blank Sway. Okay, and when I start a blank Sway, it'll open up like this, and it will take a few seconds to get itself sorted and to get itself all loaded up, and then it will pop up like this, and I'll have this. So here I can have my title of my Sway. So why did the Sikh community act the way they did? And it might be interesting for you just to have a bit of a play around with this. So what I can do here is I can pop a background on and all sorts of things like this. Here I can search for any picture. So if I wanted a question, I could type that into my search box and press search for it. And what it will do is it will show me lots of different images here. If you untick the Creative Commons, you'll get other options, but if I wanted, for example, to use this picture, I just click on it and then I click add, and then I can close that box there. And so then if I look at my Sway now, I've got my title and it will show up my picture. My picture doesn't quite show very clearly. Oh, there we go, it's coming up there. So I've got my title and I've got my picture there. So I can go back into edit and I can have this here. Things to think about, part of my design, I can look at different styles, and I can either have it scrolling vertically, or I can have it scrolling horizontally, or I can do it slide by slide, a bit like a PowerPoint. So I quite like the vertical one, you might prefer the horizontal one. But then there's lots of different text formats and colours and different things that I can have. So if I choose that one, I'm going to go for vertical one here. Okay, and then if I close out my styles and I come back to storyline, it will change the way the whole sway looks when I go into play. Now I've got my main title, so what I need probably is a heading for my first section that I'm going to write about. So in here, my first level heading might be all about what actually happened. So I say what actually happened in Kent. Okay, and so then that will be my title. And what I can do, if I click on the plus next to it, you can see it's put it in a box here with a little 1 next to it. That means this is the first section. If I click on the plus, I can now add text. And then I could go into here. This event all started just before the end of 2020. Okay, and then I can carry on with my explanation about what happened. Due to concerns over Brexit and also a new variant of COVID-19 that was discovered in England, many countries across the world closed their borders with the United Kingdom. And then I would go on and explain a bit more about what happened. You see here I've got background options again, so I can click on my background option, and instead of question now, I'm going to search for United Kingdom. So let's search for the United Kingdom. I've got lots of things. Map's quite a nice one. I might pop a little map in here, so I might go for this map here and click on add, and then that'll drop it over here. What I can do as well is I can choose this thing called the focus point, and that will show you which part of the picture is important. So I can either say I want you to focus on any part of the image, and Sway will automatically do that, or I can say the entire image is important, and Sway will show the whole picture. So now I've got a few bits here. If I go back to play, we can see how my style's changed. I might not like that style. I might want to change it now because that's hiding my picture behind me. So why did the Sikh community act the way they did? And so then I've got my picture of the United Kingdom here. What actually happened in Kent. And what it does is it automatically does all the animations for you, and it'll change all of that. So you can see how I'm adding bits in here. Now, I'm not too keen on this style. I don't quite like the black and whiteness of it. So I can go back to design and styles, and I can look at, let's have this one. This one's a bit more colourful, and what it will do is it will change the way it looks, and you can get a bit of a preview of it over here. Or I might go, actually I want a style like that, and it will show you how it's going to look when you do your sway. So you can choose whichever one of these you might want to have, and it will then work for you from there. Okay, so lots and lots of different options, different backgrounds, different text styles. Okay. So if I go back into my storyline is always how I edit things. So I've got my bits here, and I'm going to add more writing here because this isn't enough. But what I can do is I can add extra bits in here. So what I might do is I might introduce an image, and we've seen how we can do that. So if I search for Kent, I can have, oh, don't want that. If I search for Kent in here, it will give me some suggestions. Here's Kent. Oh, this one's quite nice. It's an image of Kent in England as a county, so I can add it here. I can add a little caption. This is where Kent is located. But then I can also add something called a stack, and a stack's quite interesting. So in the stack, it will put things on top of each other. So if I look at the content, I can either do a stack of text or a stack of images or an upload. And so what I can do is if I look for in here, if I look for lorry Kent traffic, and I untick Creative Commons when I search for it, you can see here I get lots of images of those, and what I could do is I can choose a few of them. So I might choose that one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I'm going to add all 7 of those. So I've clicked on 7, I'm going to add all 7, and then I can close that, and you can see I've got these 7 images here. Okay, so that works really nicely as my stack, and then if I click off that I can then add another section. So I might add another bit of text. The traffic queuing was queued for miles along the M20, and many lorry drivers were stuck without access to food or drink. This was a potentially dangerous situation for them to be in, or something like that. Add your own flair to it, make it as interesting as you want. So I can keep going, and I can just keep adding bits and bits and bits. When I finish this section, what I will do is I'll have a new heading, and then you can see here I've got number 2 section, and so here I might have the next heading of, so what did the Seek community actually do? And then here I might add a background. I could look for Seek and do an image search for that and see what comes out. I've got lots of images of Seeks here. I could choose one of these guys, or I could go for the Seek symbol. And it will show me my suggestions here, and I might be able to use one of these. So I've got a nice Seek symbol here. I'm going to include that as my picture in this one. Okay, so now if I come back out of that and look at what my whole sway is going to look like now if I play it, I'll wait for it to load up. You can see it just loading up at the top there of the bar as it's coming along. And the more elements you add to it, the slightly longer it will take to build it together for you. And obviously it depends on your internet speeds. I'm at school at the moment, so it's a little bit slow. So you can see my design's completely changed now. So why did the Seek community act the way they did? I've got my picture of the United Kingdom here. What actually happened in Kent? I've got my picture of Kent, and I've got my stack here. And you can see these pictures, they've just automatically lined themselves up like that. And then I've got my caption, I've got my next bit of text, and then I've got what did the Seek community actually do. Now, coming into here, what I would see is I need to change my focus point on the Seek logo because I don't know what that is at the moment. And actually, I could probably make these pictures a bit bigger. So if I jump back into Edit quickly and come back down to my group stack, if I click on it at the top where it says the stack, I can change the size of it. And it says here, set the emphasis on this card to moderate, set this emphasis on this card to subtle, or set this emphasis to intense. So if I make that emphasis intense, let's go for that. And then this image, I'm going to make moderate, so in the middle. And then if I go back into my sway again, it will change how that all looks, and it will change whether I've got large images or whether I've got small images, and it will bring it together. So if I scroll down to that now, I didn't change the Seek symbol, did I? I need to go back and do that. So you can see this image is much larger, but again, the Kent's dropped off the bottom, so I need to change my focus. The stack's much larger, so we can do that. Okay, so it's all about sort of jumping in and out of it, having a look at what you need to edit and how it looks. So if I change my focus on Kent, and it will give me a part of the image to focus on. So if I click down there, that'll work nicely. And then if I come back down to my Seek symbol, change my focus point and say the entire image is important, then it will show all of that. And I can keep doing that. And what this does is it automatically saves into your OneDrive. And so when you next open up your Microsoft Sway, it will pop down here in recent, and it will show you what's there. So you don't need to worry about saving it anywhere. It will automatically save it for you.